Good morning, 60 gang. It's your boy Doug, and I'm up June 4th, 2025, and I'd like to welcome all of those who woke up to be in the presence of the Lord today. Happy birthday to those born June the 4th, 2025, and of course my condolences go out to those who did not wake up to be with the Lord today, or they went to go be with the Lord who are no longer in our presence. I'm getting up this morning. Got an 8 o'clock appointment in a town called Dacula. We've got a young man out there who they sent me a request. He has a whirlpool. Ice forming on the bottom of the freezer fridge is not cooling. Mr. Stonio Valentine. Figure that one out. So I'm on my way to take a look at his whirlpool. See what we can do for homeboy. Bust him, knock him on the head right there, and then I'm gonna come on back home, take me another nap. I'm also have started my workup routine back up again. In 50 gang, we are gonna try to become more and more. What's the word? Get the routines up, I guess. But yesterday we did the 10 laps, 100 sit-ups. Today, I think I'm gonna do some weightlifting and some knee squats and some stretching. I'll slowly work my way back up. But I'm gonna try to get busy every day. So let's head to Dacula, my people.
Donald Trump saved America from the Biden administration. You can't tell me no different. And where would America be if Trump did not get into office? See, the thing is, if Biden has not been running the country for the last 4 years, then who was going to be running the country for the next 4 years? See, they tried so hard not to allow Trump to get in office, and it's obvious that Trump is exactly what America needed, because that man is in absolute beast mode right now. They already knew that once he got into office that he was going to expose all the chaos and corruption that they have been responsible for so long. I know you hate him, but you gotta love him, because America would be in a lot of trouble right now if it was not for Trump. And you're not gonna tell me that their plan was not to put Kamala Harris in place.
I'm a comedian, okay? So if you don't like my comedy, move on. And also, I run a food company. I sell pancakes and other food items, okay? So if you don't like that, just move on. I'm sick of people talking about, well, why do you keep promoting pancakes? Because it's my food business. Are you going to give me money to buy expensive TV ads? Because I can't afford to buy television ads. I can't afford to buy ads on MSNBC, Fox News, and HBO and Star. I cannot afford that, okay? I'm not Coca-Cola. I am not Quakers, okay? I'm a small business. The only way that I get my brand out there is promoting it on social media. That's the only way. And by word of mouth, okay? I can't afford big TV ads. So, as a business owner, it's my job to promote my business. Every chance I get. If you don't like it, move on. You don't have to buy the food, but don't tell me that, oh, I must stop promoting my business, and that, oh, I'm a sellout for selling pancake mix, because why would you create a pancake box after they canceled on Jemima? That's so old. Let that go. Let that go. Okay? Because if I was a black liberal who was running the business, y'all would be screaming, support black business. Y'all will be fighting for my pancake mix to be in the grocery stores. But since I'm a conservative and I'm a Trump supporter, oh, I gotta stop. Oh, yeah, oh, I'm grifting people. Oh, y'all say, oh, I am grifting and I'm doing, how am I grifting? Step back. I'm the person you need to be talking to. You can't play them semantic games with me.
I'm telling you, man, you got a lot of white liberals out there who are emboldened to say that, hey, you are black, you can't be anything but a Democrat. These people, I'm telling you, man, a lot of these liberals out here, man, they feel like they still own you. You know what I'm saying? The way they talk, the way they move, the way they carry themselves, they carry themselves as if they still own the black community. Seriously, this brother right here just told you, hey, I got out on the First Step Act. I actually know a couple people who got out on the First Step Act because of President Trump. He signed it into law, repealed a lot of these just crazy numbers that was thrown at brothers and sisters, you know, in the 90s due to the 1994 crime bill. I'm talking about people were getting centuries for nonviolent crimes. And the First Step Act helped to repeal that. Thousands of brothers and sisters came home.
Oh, he black, you not supposed to vote for that. No, the only person that ever gave me anything was a fucking Republican. As a matter of fact, the only person that ever gave black people anything was Republicans. Go look up the 1964 Civil Rights Bill and see who fucking passed it. You said they switched. Remember you said they switched. Ain't shit switched. You just dumb as the fuck. Nothing about y'all smart. My last name's Smart. I stand on that. Battle me. I know everything there is to know about this shit. Otherwise, I wouldn't have opened my fucking mouth.
That's the brother A Smart, man. Y'all go check him out on TikTok. A little high strung, but it seems like it's genuine and it comes from, you know, a good place. My apologies for the language, but he's absolutely right. You know, these Democrats, man, I got to tell you, man, they've been good with language. They've been good with being able to manipulate, you know, and manipulate and push their agenda. They're really, really good at that. They're really good at that. Unfortunately, we have entirely too many people that don't take that extra step. Just do a little bit more digging. Do a little more due diligence. Just a little bit. You ain't got to go spend 2 days. Just take an hour and just go down that rabbit hole. You'd be surprised what you find. You would be surprised what you find. It's all public knowledge. It's all public information.
The Republican Party is a party of hate. Always was and always will be. At least if you're a Democrat, that's what you believe. But here's a little fun fact, a little history lesson. Who was the president that caused the Trail of Tears? Andrew Jackson, a Democrat. What about the president who threw Japanese in internment camps? Franklin D. Roosevelt, a Democrat. Who was the president that outlawed the KKK? Ulysses S. Grant, a Republican. You know, the Klan, who was started after Reconstruction, formed by Southern Democrats. Ooh, this is a good one. Who was the party that championed for women's rights? Republicans. Did you know Susan B. Anthony was a Republican? I didn't know that. Well, now you know. You know, in 1964, the Democrats opposed the Civil Rights Act? How dare they? Yet it was still able to be passed thanks to House Republicans. Shit, I could do this all night. And of course, the misinformed will deny it and come to my page and leave hateful comments and insults. But I lead with facts. Liberals lead with emotion.
Woo. Can't refute a word that this brother said. Not a word. Not to mention, you know, when people talk about the 40 acres and a mule, it was gifted. It was given and it was gifted. Black people did receive and take the land. Some decided to go back on their plantations. Some did. Others decided to, you know, jump on there and take the land. But they were not willing to fight for said land. It had already been fought for and given, but you knew, if any, like what we know today, you know what I'm saying? If you wanted to keep it, you were going to have to fight for it. And there was a lot of brothers out there that chose not to fight. and they were ran off their property. But the person that actually repealed that 40 acres and a mule was a Democrat. Just saying. So you got a lot of folks out there, talking reparations and saying that these people happen to be a part of the Democrat Party, but not one time have they come out and said, hey, our party has to make amends. Our party has to make amends. You never hear that from the Democrat Party. You never hear it, and you won't. And you got all the black Democrats out there, especially those in office, the Summer Lees and Ayanna Presley's out here stumping for reparations that, good and well that they don't have any intent on doing. It was their party that stopped it in the first place. When you start talking about the 40 acres interview, it was their party that kicked off Jim Crow. It was their party, that, ran roughshod on the Freedmen's Bank. It was their party that implemented redlining. I'm just saying. Parties didn't switch, man. They're good at language. They're good at manipulating people, and that's who they've always been, and that's who they are today. Not much has changed, but I got to share this video of this super weak beta male. You guys got to see it for yourself. I'm really, really sick and tired of these types.
Okay, I want to take a moment to say thank you to Donald Trump, not out of praise, but out of truth. Because while you rip through every part of this government, tearing down justice, equality, and fairness under the fake excuse of fighting DEI fraud, what you're really doing is confirming what black folks have been saying for generations. America was built on racism, fueled by fear and sustained by white supremacy. You've exposed it all. The masks are off. The polite racism, the fake allyship, the colorblind lies, it's all gone. Now we see it raw and unfiltered. You're not just...
What he's saying, that don't sound like Donald Trump, and it don't sound like the Republicans. It sounds like he's describing the Democrats. But I'll let him keep going.
Targeting policy, you're targeting people. Black people, brown people, marginalized communities. In the wild part, we make up the smallest portion of this country, yet somehow we are the biggest threat to the lie that white supremacy built.
I forgot to tell you, this dude's gonna lie a multitude of times throughout this clip. That was one of the first one. That was one of the first one. I believe there was one before, and I forgot to call it out, but that's a lie. Black people are the smallest demographic in this country. Like, come on, man. Really? Asian people are the smallest demographic in this country. That's lie one.
To tell you everything. You're afraid not of violence, not of replacement, but of the power we hold even when we have nothing. You see the way our culture, our brilliance, our resilience, our excellence continues to shape this country, even when it tries to erase us. Donald Trump is just the loudest version of a system that's always been in place. He is the living, breathing proof that this country was never designed with us in mind. And yet, we continue to define it. So thank you, Donald, for exposing what so many tried to deny, for showing the world that the fear of black greatness is real, for proving that racism isn't in our imagination, it's in the fabric of this nation. And to my people, we don't have to fight to prove our worth. He's doing that for us. All we have to do is stand firm, stay awake, and know that the truth is finally louder than the lie. We are not broken. We are not the problem. We are the evidence of the power that this country can contain. Let that truth ring louder than its hate.
What was the purpose of this? He thought he cooked. He thought he cooked. He didn't, though. He showed himself as weak and feeble. So what you're saying is that this DEI thing, it's a good thing when it wasn't. What you're saying is that black people can't compete. That's what you're saying. We're not intelligent enough. We're not smart enough. What people don't understand is that when they get to talking like this, those are some of the, most demeaning way, to speak about a community of people. There were people in the comment section here, talking about, oh yeah, Trump's cutting off the SNAP benefits. That's the food stamp stuff. Trump's cutting back on Section 8. The welfare, all the free or subsidized housing for able-bodied people, not for seniors and disabled folks. So what you're saying is that black people in America need all the government subsidies. We gotta have it, because without it, there's no way for us to make it in this nation. So what you're saying is that we're unintelligent, We are weak. We are lazy. We don't have a strong work ethic. We don't have the ability to get together, to work together, to build something for ourselves. We don't have the ability to go and compete, not just on the national stage, but on the global stage. We need a hand out. Some people would say a hand up, because you don't have the ability to compete in this white man's nation. I reject it. I know entirely too many people who are doing extremely well for themselves because they rejected it as well. They decided to put the work in. They decided to put their head down and work. They decided to believe in themselves. They decided to step out there on faith. They decided to take a risk. They decided to do so. You give a man a fish, they'll eat today. Teach a man a fish, they'll eat for a lifetime. If you coddle your child and you never force them to deal with adversity, they'll never be able to deal with it, and they'll never leave your home. At some point, you gotta cut them off and say, hey man, y'all gotta go make it happen. But I wanna hear from you guys in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe, turn the notifications.
Gene Gill leaving the court. My man, shout out to my man, he stopped the blows for us. Hey, Gene. That's how we do, Jay. What's going on, man? You stopped them there, Jay? What's going on? What's looking like up here, man?
Oh, shit. Security, yeah. The security just put another nail in the coffin.
Oh, Lord, I heard about it. Man. The confirmations was just leaked out. They said the confirmation happened.
Yo, what's going on? I gotta talk to him about that. What's up, Gene? Yo, Gene, what's up, bro? I'm trying to talk to you. That's my little brother, right there. That's my real brother right there. Come on, stop it, man.
Come on, Jade. I just wanted. What did I do? What you said was the truth. I know. I apologize because I said you knocked him out, Gene. I just want to tell you I'm sorry.
It's always the white man, man. It's always the white man, man. It's always the white man, bro. Him with the suit did it, bro. It's always the white man got them blind on the black man, right, Gene? I know what's going on. But he's the one that did throw the story out there, though. Yo, I seen it out here. And then it went viral with these.
Boy, just bless me with the There's always somebody here. That's it. No, that's bourbon, bro. Bourbon.
That's bourbon. Oh, that's the bourbon thing. Okay, yeah, show the label, bro. Show the label. Show the label.
Where you over here? Morning, Jack. You know what I'm saying? I ain't paid for it, so it was just off the, you know, like, I got you. So then he came, he went in his trunk, and he pulled one out. It's love right there, man. It's love right there. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't got nothing against Gene Dill. When somebody did an interview with me and they asked me about what I think about Gene Dill, I cannot stamp something that I don't know nothing about.
I can't put that on camera. But that was huge.
Yes. Look, I can't stamp something that I don't know about. You know what I'm saying? I can't say Gene Dill is a bad dude. You know what I'm saying? If I don't know. The only thing I know is the things that he say be accurate. You know what I'm saying? When he said Diddy was going to get locked up in September of last year, he wasn't lying. He said that in August. He said Diddy is going to get locked. Then he made another prediction and said that in the middle of the trial, Diddy is going to go ahead and plead. He going to want to take a plea deal. And I think he is. I think he's going to take a plea deal off the fact that the people that's going to come in there, the Jane Does, and if K can't come in there on behalf of the prosecution, which I can see that, he's not high right now. He's taking all of this in sober. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Gene Dill and shout out to everybody that's out here that's doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? This ain't about clout and everybody trying to fight each other for daggone views and all that. That's just ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? People walking around saying they don't feel safe and all that. What this man do to you? You trying to use him for a clout chase. You know what I'm saying? And I said it. Right there, y'all. We're still going to jail. Still going to prison. That was Justin. They call him, listen, his legal name is Justin Combs, but we know him as Wolf Jr. Alright? That's Dwayne Wolf Jones. Dwayne Wolf Jones, that's his son right there. I'm saying it. And but it's nothing like Lisa. King Combs is the freak off twin. That's Diddy Glover's freak off twin. One with the long Tootsie Roll neck. Yeah, that's Diddy little freak off twin. He ain't been here 2 days during survival. But I was trying to meet Mrs. Glover, Diddy's mother. I called Diddy Glover. I called Diddy Glover because the nigga looked like Danny Glover. You see how old he looked?
Keep the baby on my kids. The one on baby on my kids. Cocoa butter, palm, or something else. Put that baby on my kids.
Denver's in the building. Shout out to Denver.
Shout out to Denver. Denver's in the building.
Is it one of Is up going to you like
What's up, TikTok?
So what do you think overall? Why are you here if you don't want to give your honest opinion? He said free pennies. This is the last dollar bill on my back. You can fix it off. So yeah, I feel you.
Now, on many reasons why.
I understand.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't get it fucked up. I'm not really supporting nigga, but I'm supporting my cousin. And my cousin, I fuck with my cousin.
I hear you.
So, yeah. And me and my cousin like best friends and family. So,
I hear you. I hear you. But I just don't support him. And Wolf Jr. too.
and I know Diddy too, so I never think so.
You being so. Of course, the biasness. Well, we all got biasness. We all got bias in us. But I'm not a Diddy supporter.
I got you.
You know, I don't wish jail on nobody. But if he, if he did what they saying he did, he should be there.
Fuck that. Here's the thing. That's just like you. That's like you selling drugs but getting charged for a gun, but they're gonna bring up the drugs. Motherfucker, the gun is what I got caught for. If you're gonna lock me up for the gun.
Okay.
The fuck you keep bringing up the drugs for? That's what they doing in here.
You see this man right here?
For nothing that he's
You see this man right here?
Come on.
This man is who got Diddy in jail right now.
Jackery.com has a sale today, up to 50%
Waiting for his family to come. Yes, Diddy did it. Remember?
Yeah,
Diddy did it. Look,
but he's already done.
That's his daughter. That's his daughter right there. She can tell you Diddy did it.
Yeah, I know him.
You know him?
Not personally.
Not personally? Alright. Okay. So listen, just pass it along. Diddy did it. You believe he did it?
Okay, there's our wedding.
I thought they were shooting.
So do you think he has done that or not?
No, I think he did it. You think he did it? You think Diddy
I'm
did
not
it?
very informed about that. We are from Germany, I'm so sorry.
Shout out to Germany, yes.
Yeah, shout out.
Hey, listen, Diddy did it. Pass it along. Alright? You believe it?
No way.
You don't believe it? Diddy did it. Diddy did it. Sean Combs. Sean P. Diddy Combs. He did it. Diddy did it.
all the trouble.
Okay, so Diddy did it.
See what I said?
What you gonna do with that?
Post it on everywhere in the world. Make sure you beautiful queen too.
Me is Gina Javon, Harlem World Records CEO and founder. I'm gonna give y'all a little snippet for these gentlemen because they do what they do too. We're here for Diddy, but they're out here for Diddy, and I'm out here for me. The love is in the building, and I'll be back for it. Like a cake, you can slice of the wine, you can pour it. I know just how you love and where you store it. So I'll be back for it. I got a new sweater, brand new sweater. It's sweating me, it's stressing me, and call me the bomb. Sweating me and stressing me and loving my charm. Got a new sweater, brand new sweater. You hear the rest of that or any other artists that come under my umbrella. Harlem World Records. Gina Javon, baby.
Niggas is really pussy. The team ain't really wild. You niggas is really pussy. The team ain't got no style. Y'all not wild. Y'all not real. Y'all don't know how this feel. How we come through busted still. Niggas pop shit when they don't got shit. Niggas pop shit when they need to quit. Your team so clean. My feet don't touch the ground now.
Harlem World Records in the building. I'll get a little bit more next time. Just a little bit more next time. That was for the Ruffin Brothers. You know what?
I be selling raw cocaine, numb your tongue, freeze your brain. Trapping all night, chasing chicken, making sales. I keep the whole world. So say hi to the bad guy. I did it on the run, I did it with my gun. Pop the bottle, cause confusion. Y'all don't want no parts of me, cause I'm coming from the Harlem Way.
You got much more. And that's the artist right there.
Okay.
Also, and she was turning on everybody. I said, see? And I went in and asked the marshals, I said, what can I do about her? Like, I just kept running from her, right? And they wouldn't put her out. They kept on letting her come in. They kept on letting her in. Why are you letting her in when she's arguing with the security? So she apologized to me. So she said, I want to come, I want to apologize. So we smoothed it out. So we good now, and I'd rather have it that way than and all of that, right? So she went in there. Girl,
So did they get arrested?
No, they didn't arrest. They don't do nothing. They ain't gonna do nothing until you come out in the body to the biz ad.
That's not gonna mess up the case. That's not gonna mess up the
They
case,
ain't
though.
be satisfied until somebody
Was
get
the
hurt.
jury in there when she did that?
Hold on, let me pull this up. Look at this shit.
All right, we're gonna go.
This is her.
We'll be out.
All right, this is her. One mentor style.
Yeah, it's the same woman that I posted last week that was yelling at GJ.
Yelling at everybody. Yelling.
Hey.
Jesus just told you. Nobody doesn't like to get close home.
I apologize to him. Maybe I heard that he has a feeling that so I was thinking maybe, maybe like he could step up to the deal. And I mean, I don't know if Emily would want to be a part of it, but I was like,
I mean, still asking for further.
I mean, I want to like, like maybe like let everything just marinate for us, because I know she just filled me out, and I know like, that whole city. Well, like no, not feelings, but I know like that whole Justin and like that. How do you feel about that? Like, I'm not really sure about how this all works.
I think it collapsed, man, because Diddy's a big part of this, man. Diddy's a big part of this, man. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta understand something, man. You gotta also understand the man is creative. You're talking about a genius. You're talking about a smart man. You're not just talking about anybody. You understand what I'm saying? You're talking about.
I think of it like this too. Diddy, he's also 55 years old. He's getting older.
Yes.
So there's really not much left of.
Right. Like I said, you're speaking about a smart man. You're not just speaking about anybody. You understand what I'm saying? So you gotta look into that, man. You gotta look into that. Whatever happened 20 years ago happened 20 years ago. You understand what I'm saying? We're living in the present now, man. So you're talking about somebody that did a lot for people, man. You know what I'm saying? Puff is Puff, man. At the end of the day, man, he's a genius.
Yeah.
He's good at what he does.
People at an age of you go do like 10 years later, 5 years later. You
know what I've heard? Like, this is just from what I've heard. I've heard that Diddy was also just threatening them, like, and he had a lot of money and power, and I guess that he was like, I think he kind of testified as well, and a few witnesses, they were saying like, Diddy threatened them, and like with money and.
You gotta understand something. You gotta take care of yourself also.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you gotta take care of himself. He gotta defend himself because he gotta take care of himself, man. Because you gotta take care of yourself, man.
I worked in a hotel. What's the first thing he did? I want the guy that wants to answer. He's the one that. Okay, so make sure. Pop Daddy's career gets ruined. So what Pop Daddy did, I want to speak to him. Respectfully. I want that video. Yes, because I'm very famous. That's a little that baby was out. My career be ruined. Right. Listen, I did make up for the. I'm just going right there. I did make up for the photo on the higher profile, right? That's right. Like I said, Puff is a hardworking man. Puff put in work. So you got to also look into that, man. You know, Puff is a very good friend of Donald Trump also. You know what I'm saying? Donald Trump is the president of New York City. Puff is a good man also, man. So, you know, you got to look into that. You got to look into everything, man. Everybody's not guilty, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like I said, it's a matter of a moment. People want to have fun. They want to party. It is what it is.
I didn't even go home and change clothes. Are you wine sitter? Last time. I've been out here since 11 o'clock.
Things happening for America. We got the big, beautiful bill going through the Senate. We got President Trump trying to resolve the Ukraine-Russian war. And at the same time, and President Trump just endorsed this individual for the Senate. And I'm pretty sure he's going to be regretting his decision to do that because this man is a snake. This video, we're going to talk about Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham is the one Republican senator that I think is faker than a $4 bill. This man literally, I don't believe has a moral compass. I believe he's self-serving. I believe that he says whatever he needs to say for whoever's listening to him right now. I've watched him double talk on, you know, acting like he's chastising Joe Biden while then giving a slight comment or talking about how much good friends they've always are and how he knows them while he's supposedly taking him out to the woodshed for a decision or for some legislation that he passed. But what this video is about today, more importantly, is that Lindsey Graham, he's a war hawk. This is one of our senators that loves to get the United States into war as often as possible. You know why? It's because the lobbyists, the war machine lobbyists, fund Lindsey Graham's campaigns and make sure that he lives a good lifestyle, allegedly. Another reason why I'm always so hesitant on anything involving Lindsey Graham or any politician for that matter that is a war hawk is when they don't have children and they're not married. That always freaks me out because you don't care about the young men and women that are going off, that are going to pass away or lose their life fighting for this country. It doesn't cost you a thing. And as a matter of fact, once you leave this planet, you have no concern about what's left behind. So politicians like Lindsey Graham are self-serving and they will drive this country off a cliff as long as they get taken care of. Think about it. Tell me, when have you ever seen or heard Lindsey Graham stand on anything that was good for the country but wasn't self-serving? He doesn't. He'll side with the Democrats when he needs to, and he'll say the things for the GOP when he needs to. He's one of those guys that'll talk down on the Democrats, and then right after he walks off the Senate floor, is going right over to one of the Democrat senators' houses. You know, I was just saying that, you know, in public, but you know, I'm riding with you guys, right? That's him. So let's check out in this video. I'm gonna break down what's going on because Lindsey Graham and Senator Blumenthal, Democrat Senator Blumenthal, decided that they were going to go over to Ukraine behind President Trump's back and put a battery in Zelensky's back. They don't want the Ukraine-Russia war to end. Understand why not? This whole thing is started. And in this video, RFK, I got a clip from RFK that really is going to lay insight. And it goes in detail. It's not a long clip. It's fairly short. But when you finish, this whole war machine will all make sense. Dwight D. Eisenhower, when he was leaving presidency and JFK was coming in, he gave a speech. And if you didn't see the speech, it's on YouTube. Listen to it. Because at the very end, the biggest industrial complex, this $1 trillion machine that makes money having people take each other's lives, having countries go to war. That is why you always see wars kicking off. Why? Because the people, the real power people, they fund both sides. They can care less who wins. They're tucked off in a very safe space, heavily guarded, and won't have to deal with any of the backlash. These are those who consider themselves to be the masters of the world. And right now, the war machine is pushing for Ukraine and Russia to go into battle. Why? Because if that happens, they're hoping that it somehow pulls the United States into it. And it almost happened. Joe Biden tried to get Ukraine accepted into NATO. And most people don't realize why that's a bad thing for America. It's because for any member of NATO that gets into a war, that means that every member of NATO has to go into war with them. So if Ukraine is a member of NATO, which means that America immediately is at war with Russia. And I'm talking about a real war leading to World War III, which is what every intelligent person wants to avoid, especially with the power of the nuclear weaponry that the Western countries especially, and even China and some of the other big dogs have, where we can literally wipe each other off the planet like that. But you got war hogs who don't have any children or any legacy that they're worried about leaving behind, pushing for it. Now, while in Ukraine, Senator Graham ran up a $400,000 hotel tab. 400,000 taxpayer dollars went to funding his trip to Ukraine. Senator Blumenthal, similar, dropped another 400 grand. This trip reportedly, allegedly, is close to $900,000. Now, what in the world could Lindsey Graham and Senator Blumenthal be doing in Ukraine that cost them close to $1 million? What hotel are they staying at? And Lindsey Graham has been over there 8 or 9 times trying to keep Zelensky pushing this thing, while President Trump is saying, hey, y'all, let's come to some type of agreement. And what most people don't know, Russia actually presented agreement that was extremely favorable to Ukraine. And guess what happened? The Democrats told them, don't take it, resist it. As a matter of fact, push back. And what the media reports on, they report on when Russia does stuff, but we don't hear about the things that Ukraine does. So let's check this out. Now, Charlie Kirk, if you don't know, with Turning Point America, played a huge part in President Trump getting elected. So let's look at what he says. We're in serious trouble, America. Lindsey Graham is attempting to sabotage peace talks with Russia in Kyiv. This man is an embarrassment to the United States and will lose his seat this upcoming election.
President Trump said that Ukraine doesn't have good cards. Well, Russia's much bigger and has a lot more people. I get that. But the world has a lot of cards against Russia. And one of those cards that we have is about to be played in the United States Senate. In America, you have more than one person at the card table. We have 3 branches of government, and the House and the Senate are poised to act. What would change our mind if Russia came to the table, agreed to a ceasefire?
If you're enjoying this video, do me a solid and give me a thumbs up, because I'll never ask you for a super chat or a cash app, but you hitting that thumbs up, it really helps the channel, helps spread the information out. And if you aren't subscribed, subscribe. And once you do, please make sure you hit the notification bell, then select all. And that way you'll be notified when I upload new video. So he just said that, what would help is if Russia came to the table, agreed to a ceasefire. Well, they did that. And remember when Zelensky was stonewalling, he didn't want any peace talks. Why? Because he had a meeting with the Democrats before he met with President Trump. President Trump put him on blast, let him know what time it was. And see, these senators, they don't care. Lindsey Graham he just spent $400,000 over there in Ukraine. So did Senator Blumenthal. On what? Why does he love Ukraine so much? Think about it. Why? What is it about Ukraine? Right now, Ukraine is being ran by a dictator. That's right. Zelensky, the government took over the media. There is no elections. There is zero opposition party. He is literally the supreme ruler of Ukraine. Do you think he wants to give that up? Of course not, because he knows the moment that he does, he may be brought up on charges. He may be liable for war crimes. They've already talked about, not to mention the alleged laundering. Do you know this man said that over 100 million United States dollars, taxpayer dollars, sent to Ukraine, they don't know where they are. And as you're going to see in the next clip, Mitch McConnell, Tim Scott, 2 Republicans, they addressed where the money has been going. And when you hear where the money's been going, you'll really understand why the snake Lindsey Graham is doing what he's doing. And in that video clip we just watched, where he said, President Trump said Ukraine doesn't have the cards. Well, the world has more cards. And the Senate, we're going to play them. So what he's doing, to me, it seems like he's throwing the gauntlet down. Excuse me. He's challenging the president. And why would you do that? Why do you do things when we got the Democrats on the ropes? We got the American people really siding with us and riding with us. And you got this right-wing neocon extremist. Yeah, we got extremists on our side too. And he's a right-wing neocon extremist that's a war hawk that wants to send our sons and daughters. I have a son in the military right now. He's in the Navy, stationed in Washington State. And this man who has no legacy in the military. He has no one that he's accountable to that's there, but he wants to send our children over there. And for what? For what, Lindsay? What is the benefit to the United States? They want to keep talking like, oh, it's this big thing. Do you realize that the area of Ukraine that Putin was going after are actually Russian-speaking people that believe in the Russian tradition, that felt like they were left behind when the Soviet Union split? These people are down with it, but Ukraine doesn't want to lose that population, that money, that citizenship. So the battle was on. He's not coming in there trying to take over the entire Ukraine. But why does the media keep pushing it? Why do the Democrats keep bringing up Vladimir Putin as the boogeyman? Why? Why do they make him out to be public enemy number one? When a lot of his people love him, but they make him our enemy. And even if he is the enemy, cool. He's over there, we're over here. Ukraine's over there. They're handling their business. And if we can be a mediator, great. But why is it that Putin is always made to be the big bad guy? And we know now that they used him several times in lies. How do we know that this isn't a lie? We're going to know because you're going to hear what RFK is about to tell us. Now, listen to what RFK lays out as far as about what's going on. And this right here is the story headlining. Zelensky thanks U.S. senators for a visit ahead of peace talks, urges unity. Ukrainian president hails bipartisan support as crucial talks with Russia approach. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky praised the visit of U.S. Senators Lindsey Graham and Richard Blumenthal to Kyiv, saying their presence comes at a pivotal moment when international coordination is urgently needed to achieve an honorable and lasting peace. I am grateful that you are in Ukraine precisely when coordination efforts is most needed, Zelensky said following the meeting on Friday, describing it as a good discussion focused on joint efforts to resist Russian aggression and advance peace talks. He accused Moscow of abusing diplomacy while preparing new offenses and rejecting ceasefire offers, warning that additional pressure is needed. Zelensky voiced support for a bipartisan sanctions bill backed by 82 U.S. senators, calling it a key tool to force Russia into peace. The Ukrainian leader also emphasized Washington's role in future talks. It is the United States' real involvement at every stage of the negotiations that can guarantee a reliable peace, he said. Separately, Ukrainian Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal also held a meeting with the bipartisan U.S. Senate delegation, urging tighter sanctions on Russia. Shmyhal said he thanked the senators for introducing a new sanctions bill in Congress and highlighted the importance of seizing frozen Russian assets to support Ukraine. We are grateful to the U.S. President, Congress, and the American people for their extensive and significant support to Ukraine in the fight for democratic values and freedom, he said on X. He added that Ukraine is seeking stronger economic cooperation with the U.S., particularly in light of the ongoing war and reconstruction needs. The meetings took place as preparations continue for the second round of Ukraine-Russia talks in Istanbul, where Kyiv insists that Moscow must first submit its memorandum outlining key principles for a settlement. So he's praising these bipartisan senators for coming over there, the two of them, the war hawk and the Democrat Ukrainian sympathizers. And you know, if the Democrats are involved, nothing is beneficial for the United States. They wear Ukraine flags on the congressional floor. How disrespectful. Now, listen to what RFK lays out. And man, sometimes I wonder with the things that RFK tells us, does he have a fear for his life? But check this out right here. As a matter of fact, I'll let this play full screen.
This is a war that should have never happened. It's a war that Russians tried repeatedly to settle on terms that were very, very beneficial to Ukraine and us. The major thing they wanted was for us to keep NATO out of the Ukraine. The big military contractors want to add new countries to NATO all the time. Why? Because then that country has to conform its military purchases to NATO weapon specifications, which means certain companies, Northrop Grumman, Raytheon, General Dynamics, Boeing, and Lockheed, get a trapped market. In March of 2022, we committed $113 billion. Just to give you an example, we could have built a home for almost every homeless person in this country. We then committed another $24 billion since that 2 months ago, and now President Biden's asking for another $60 billion. But the big expenses are going to come after the war, when we have to rebuild all the things that we destroyed. Mitch McConnell was asked, can we really afford to spend $113 billion to Ukraine? He said, don't worry, it's not really going to Ukraine.
It's going to American defense manufacturers.
So he just admitted it's a money laundering scheme. And who do you think owns every one of those companies? BlackRock. So Tim Scott, during the Republican debate, said, don't worry, it's not a gift to Ukraine, it's a loan. So raise your hand if you think that loan's ever getting paid back. Yeah, of course it's not. So why do they call it a loan? Because if they call it a loan, they can impose loan conditions. And what are the loan conditions that we impose on? Number one, an extreme austerity program, so that if you're poor in Ukraine, you're going to be poor forever. Number two, most important, Ukraine has to put all of its government-owned assets up for sale to multinational corporations, including all of its agricultural land, the biggest single asset in Europe. In Ukraine, there's been 1,000 years of war fought over that land. It's the richest farmland in the world. It's the breadbasket of Europe. 500,000 kids almost, Ukrainians have died to keep that land as part of Ukraine. They almost certainly didn't know about this loan condition. They've already sold 30% of it. The buyers were DuPont, Cargill, and Monsanto. Who do you think owns all of those companies?
BlackRock.
Yeah, BlackRock. And then in December, President Biden gave out the contract to rebuild Ukraine. And who do you think got that contract? BlackRock. So they're doing this right in front of us.
They're destroying
They don't
it
even
and
care that we
rebuilding
know anymore, because they know that they can get away with it. And how do they know that? Because they have a strategy. And that strategy is an old strategy, which is they keep us at war with each other. They keep us hating on each other. They keep the Republicans and Democrats fighting each other, black against white, and all these divisions that they sow.
Wow. So as you see, the rabbit hole goes deep, and there's a better understanding of the why. You got people like Lindsey Graham. He's supported by these companies, these war machines, just like Nikki Haley, big war hawk. And we have to watch out for those people that are the war hawks when we're voting for our politicians. Do research. Look at who it is that's sponsoring these people, donating to their campaign. And when you look, and as you know, BlackRock is a power player, but not everybody is sponsored by them. Not everybody accepts that money. Look at those war hawks. I'm sick of this crap. It's time to keep America first. And we got to vote Lindsey Graham out of office. I'm tired of this man. Matter of fact, they say he's going to be primaried. Not primary. There's a Democrat running against him for his seat. I wish we had a conservative that we could put in there and knock it out the park on him. It's just risky to run another Republican because name recognition, especially when it comes to midterm elections, is everything, because they promote the presidential election heavy. People are so proud they went out and voted for president because the political machine knows the presidential election has the least impact on our lives and is actually dictated by the Electoral College. So it's nothing more than a way to make the American public feel like they're a part of the political process, which is exactly how Hillary Clinton can win the popular vote but lose the election. That's why Donald Trump winning the popular and the Electoral College sent a shock to the party, because what they were going to do is if he won off Electoral College, but Kamala Harris won the popular, the Democrats were going to fight to destroy the Electoral College, because they were going to say, see, it doesn't work. The popular vote won at the Electoral College. So when President Trump won, it destroyed their whole agenda going for that, moving forward. But I just wanted to bring you up to speed on what's happening in the GOP. And whoever your senator is, your congressional members are, send them emails.
And teaching Diddy how to get down way before Bad Boy was even a thing.
I grew up with his parents. I knew his parents. He said, and what's going on with him has been going on long before him.
And here's the crazy part. People are saying she's the one who introduced him to all those freak-off scenes, taught him how to move, how to work people, how to play the game. Some even claim she was part of those freak-offs herself.
I think she just was enjoying the fruits of the labor.
But why you believe she knew about the freak-offs?
Because one of the witnesses said she was there.
And these aren't just rumors. Several people who were close to Diddy and worked with him have come forward with what they witnessed during their time with him.
I think that she liked to party, and she partied with young people. She's always been like that. She always copied or emulated Little Kim and Mary J. Blige.
Don't forget what everyone said during their testimonies. But who was the first person to speak up and defend him like he was the victim? His mom, Janice. She stood by him without hesitation. But now, according to folks close to the scene, she might have known what was really going on this whole time. And honestly, the more you hear, the darker it all sounds. So now people are asking, was Mama Combs just being a loyal mom? Or was she actually the one pulling the strings behind the scenes? So before Puff Daddy ever got cuffed and hauled off by the feds, Harlem legend Dapper Dan already chimed in. And let's just say, he wasn't sugarcoating a thing. When folks asked him about all the drama surrounding Diddy, Dap didn't jump to his defense, but he didn't completely throw him under the bus either. Instead, he dropped some real Harlem-grown wisdom. He talked about growing up around Diddy's parents, including Diddy's mom, Janice Combs, and according to him, none of this is exactly new. And mind you, what he said wasn't pleasant at all. He basically dropped all the bombshells of what we are witnessing right now. It didn't start with Diddy. There was something even bigger than Diddy behind the scenes. This kind of behavior, the secret parties, the whole power trip lifestyle, it's been in motion for decades, long before Bad Boy Records was even a thing.
And on his new album that's coming out, I'm addressing exactly what happened.
The only difference now, social media pulled the curtains wide open. No more hiding behind luxury shades and champagne flutes. And honestly, what Dapper Dan said is starting to make a lot of sense, especially when you look at the rumors swirling around. Many people have started to connect the dots, and the stories keep getting wilder every day. Word is Janice Combs didn't just raise Diddy, she allegedly raised him into that lifestyle. There's talk that she exposed him to those infamous freak-offs, and that their mother-son relationship wasn't exactly typical. Some folks are even saying she took part in those same wild scenes Diddy's now facing lawsuits over. Yes, the ones involving NDAs, traumatized victims, and disturbing court claims. There's even an old clip of Diddy and his mom side by side, both getting IV drips, supposedly just for hydration. But here's where it gets real sketchy. Court documents describe how these freak-off parties would get so intense, so over the top, that guests would need IVs afterwards just to recover. Passed out, drenched in sweat, completely drained.
Diddy has said this. He said, when I give a party, I have to have an ambulance outside of the house. Paramedics ready. That people have to take IVs.
But here's the thing nobody's saying. Diddy and his mom had just left one of those events in that clip. But let's be real. The timing, the visuals, it's giving way too many red flags. And it doesn't even stop there. People have been raising eyebrows for years over how unusually affectionate Diddy gets with his mom in public. Like there's actual footage of him kissing her. Not a sweet little peck either. We're talking full on lip to lip. Then he turns around and jokes about how his mom's single at 85 and needs a man. Sir, that's your mama. That didn't feel weird to anyone else? Because it's definitely giving off. But here's the part nobody's really digging into yet.
Remember the time that him and his mama kissed each other on the lips?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that video. Do you remember that both of them was getting an IV at the same time?
A lot of folks believe Janice used to be a model, glamorous, classy, all that. But according to people from Harlem, that might have just been a cover. The real talk is, she was allegedly a madam behind the scenes, connecting young girls with powerful men, all while the modeling image was just a shiny distraction. That whole glitz and glam thing, smoke and mirrors. And guess who was right there watching it all go down as a kid?
Diddy.
Yep, young Diddy. Word is he soaked it all in, learned how to pull strings, charm people, manipulate situations, all while keeping the darkest stuff behind closed doors. And this isn't just street gossip. Insiders have been hinting at it for years. He was exposed to things no young person ever should be, and it clearly shaped the person he is today. Jaguar Wright, she flat out said it. Janice was the blueprint, the original madam. Diddy just followed her lead. Even Maze, who's had a major beef with Diddy, said it himself. According to him, Janice knows everything. He even claimed Diddy hides behind her, like she's the keeper of all his darkest secrets.
They ran into Dapper Dan in Harlem, and they asked him what he thought about what was going on with Diddy, and if he knew Diddy. And I love Dapper Dan for this.
And think about it. Every time Diddy's name gets dragged through the mud, guess who's right there standing by him? His mom. She acted like her son was just misunderstood, like he was the real victim. But come on now. We all saw what happened, and you're telling me she didn't know what he was capable of? She knew. She's always known. Now here's where it takes an even darker turn. And this one's hard to talk about. There are whispers, very serious ones, that Diddy's pattern of V didn't just start with random women. Some people believe his first victim may have been his own mother. Gene Deal, who used to work closely with Puff back in the day, said he heard this straight from Kirk Burroughs, one of Diddy's old business partners. He allegedly caught Diddy cursing out his mom, and not just yelling. No, it went further. He allegedly slapped her. This is the same dude, bro, that used to disrespect his mother, Deal stated, adding, I've seen the love they now have for each other only on film or camera, YouTube or Instagram or whatever they're showing, Gene said. So here's where things get even more intense. Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, claimed that Kirk Burroughs, one of Bad Boy Records' former executives, once told him that Diddy actually slapped his mother. Yep, you heard that right. And Deal didn't stop there. He added, I don't know how many dudes do kiss their mother in the mouth when they are 50, 60 years old. That's them. That's their whole thing. Then he pointed out a strange little detail. Janice Combs supposedly wore white nail polish. Why does that matter? Well, it's the same thing Cassie mentioned in her lawsuit, saying it was a specific look Diddy liked women to have. Deal continued, saying, what's crazy to me is that it seemed like him and his mother had this, I don't want to get too deep, man, this Oedipus complex thing. According to him, a lot of Diddy's disturbing behavior might trace back to Janice's influence. The apple didn't fall far from the tree, Deal said, even accusing Janice of running a so-called P-ring under the guise of a modeling agency.
When she used to do her little modeling thing with her little ladies of the night, the little wild parties, when she gave that up, I don't think she was in the business.
And while he didn't claim she was at Diddy's infamous freak-off parties, he did say she was a regular at his more toned-down gatherings, and was probably well aware of everything that went down behind the scenes. As for her recent public support for Diddy, Deal wasn't buying it. He said, instead of being his friend, she should have checked Diddy's A when he was allegedly doing all that dirty S. Now wait a second, he slapped his own mother, the same woman he kisses on the lips in public, the one he's always calling his queen in interviews. That doesn't sit right, but if that claim holds any truth, it flips the whole story on its head. Because here's where things take a turn into deep, messy territory. Like bloodline deep. There's been talk that the woman we've all known as Diddy's mom, Janice Combs, might not actually be his biological mother. Some folks believe the real Janice passed away years ago, and that the woman we've seen by his side all these years is actually his aunt. Why the cover-up? Well, once you start digging into the family history, it gets real murky. His biological father, Melvin Combs, wasn't just some neighborhood guy. Allegedly, he was deep in government business, a known informant. Harlem Whispers says that he was knee-deep in shady operations, backdoor deals, political connections, and straight-up betrayals. Jaguar Wright even claimed he was more than just an informant. He was a player in something much bigger.
But there's whispers in the streets of Harlem that Diddy's mother isn't alive. Not his biological mother, but that woman is his aunt.
And you know what they say, like father, like son. Diddy's own behavior over the years, moving in silence, always dodging consequences, knowing exactly when to shift blame, it's got people wondering if he's playing from the same rule book. I mean, even Kanye once called him a federal agent on camera, and the internet kinda didn't disagree. But the most unsettling part? The stories from his childhood. Old interviews and neighborhood voices have described his early years as being surrounded by chaos, adult parties, substances, and disturbing scenes no child should ever witness.
He didn't get all this from his daddy because he didn't know his daddy, even though they try to say his daddy was some big-time deal in the whole 9 yards.
People claim they walked into rooms with grown men and women doing the unthinkable while young Diddy sat quietly nearby, and no one did a thing, not even Janice. And when you connect those dots, From the rumored freak-offs to the IV drips, the overly affectionate mother-son moments, and the whispers that Janice wasn't just present at those parties, but possibly recruiting women herself, it's all very uncomfortable. Gene Deal even claimed Janice tried to seduce Diddy's own security team, not behind closed doors, openly. And one witness outright said she was there at the parties, not just watching, but actively involved.
Age-appropriate, inappropriate clothing that I want to say, because I know people going to through it. About, what you mean? She's 70, 80 years old. She don't have to wear she can wear hot pants if she want to. Okay.
During an interview that aired on November the 8th, 2024, Deal tried to...
Oh, well, he had an ice problem, but he unplugged the unit a few days ago. So guess what? I walked in, no ice problem. I can't service a unit, especially a refrigerator, if the customer's going to unplug it prior to service. If you ever have a service issue with a refrigerator, always let the problem exist until the technician comes. Don't unplug it, because now you cost yourself a reschedule, because I can't sit here 5 to 6 hours waiting on the problem that may not exist. So my day is over with. Let's see what they got. They got a washing machine. They got some jobs, 2 to 4 p.m. This is in McDonough, but would detect an error. No error, no error. I don't make it like 9. Still in there. Today. Coughlin, Hopewell Church. Some shit's is a long way. Cartersville, Sparta, Hogansville. Got a dryer. Not heating. It's eating. I'm gonna have to let all this pass because, yeah. All right, guys, let's go.
You know why, Jonathan? Jonathan